might seem like a weird question, but have you heard of, there was this anime called like Ghost Stories or something like this, dealing with a haunted high school? It was a really low budget Japanese anime,
right.
but since it was so cheap and there wasn't really a big demand for it, an American company bought the rights to it and completely, like, it was a scary anime and they made it funny. They completely rewrote the script and dubbed it over with like pop culture references.
Right. I didn't hear about that one.
Yeah, I've seen like some videos of it on YouTube, and it is hilarious. And I thought that that would be funny because like that's like the dub version is completely different.
Right, that's interesting. I've never had that happen on anime. They usually are pretty true to the content. But see, I think it depends too on.
Well, that depends on how far you go back as to how true they were to the content.
Well, that's true too. Yeah, that's very true. But I think these days the people who own the rights in Japan are probably a lot more sticklers. I think they learned, you know, don't give it to those Americans, they'll mess it up. So they hold on to it. You know, another thing for voice actors I think is so important is cold reading. Cold reading exercises are so important. Because I belong to a group that's called Playwright 6. And I've been a part of them for years and years. And what they do is it's a group for playwrights, but they meet twice a month on Monday evenings. And so all these new writers who write plays and movies and television, they'll come with their new works, and they'll pick the actors in the audience to go up and read. So it's a great experience for an actor is to work with cold reading, because a lot of times when you go to an audition, again, it's a cold reading. And it helps me with the anime, because I'm not afraid to just pick up a line that I've never seen before and do it, you know. And it's really been because of the cold reading exercises. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't cold read, you know, you're going to be screwed. You know, it's going to be hard to get the job.
How often do you get to voice act with the other actors in the group?
Yeah, you only do it if it's a group scene and you're the background. We call it the walla, you know, walla walla. And so we'll be in a room, maybe 4 or 5 of us, and then, okay, you're the crowd, and you have to, oh, get out of here, you know. Okay, you're the guy with the yellow hat on, you know. Okay, you're the guy with missing an eye. I don't know. So usually that's the only time. Yeah. For movies though, which is kind of interesting, you can be in a big group, you're in a big studio, and they have the big screen, and the movie plays. You get to see sometimes the movie before it's released, and you're all the background people in the voice in the thing. So you're at a bank, so there's a microphone, and you have to walk around and just say odd things like, "I'd like to make a deposit." You have to just say all kind of bank things, you know. So you have to come up with all this improv stuff, you know. Or you're walking down the street, but it's raining, you know. Oh, I'm getting wet, or. You know, for the shark one, you know, there was one I had to, get out of the water! And I could hear it. I was like, oh, that's me. You know, stuff like that. Now, video games is weird because if you're like, we did one for, it's called Legendary. It's about all these mythical monsters that come alive. Anybody know that video game? They come out of a museum, and they start like attacking New York City. So we were maybe 6 actors. All we did all day long, they had 3 microphones in the studio. We were running around and screaming for all day. Run! Oh my God, what is it? What's happening? You know, and then we have to pay attention, like we can't step on each other's lines, but we have to sort of be close enough where, you know, there's no like dead space. So you can kind of scream, but you're listening to the other actors too. What are they saying? What are they doing? And you have to run to one side of the room. You can't all be on the same side because you have to kind of equalize where the screams are coming from. That's tiring. I mean, all day, from literally 8 hours, you are running from monsters. So.
What's your favorite environment to work in? Like acting in plays or like voice acting?
I mean, I don't feel like I have a favorite because each one is so different, and I think one of the reasons why I'm an actor is I don't like to do the same thing all the time. For a while I quit acting and I worked in a corporation. I worked in a doctor's medical malpractice insurance company. I was in my cubicle, gray cubicle and gray walls. Wanted to jump out the window. On the floor.
Yeah.
I would go to, there was this other girl working there, I'd go to the window, I'd be looking, she'd go, don't, she'd call me Darrel. That was her accent. She'd go, don't jump, Darrel, don't jump. I said, okay, I won't. But that's why I like acting, is because, and I think I would like any kind of career where I get to meet different people all the time, where I get to be creative, where I get to just do different things, be in different environments. I mean, even coming to the cons. I mean, did I ever think I would do this? No. I'm going to Malaysia next week for a convention. Malaysia. I went to Europe 2 years ago. You know, and I get to travel all over the country. You know, and I look at that as part of the job. You know, and I get to meet different people from different places. And I get to hear why you guys like anime, or you know what it is you think about, you know, those things. Why you don't like the English dubs. You know, but so, you know, I feel very grateful. I mean, you never know. I just take things day by day, because it's such a, it's not something where you are guaranteed to work. You know, that's the downside. You're not guaranteed the 8 hours a day. If I was still working at the doctor's medical malpractice insurance company, but you know, I like living that way.
I just wanted to add on to that. I think it was like Camus or something like that said one of his favorite things about being an actor is that you get to live more than one life.
Right.
And so I thought maybe.
Well, you know, I was telling earlier, I did a little short film about this real life guy who survived the Holocaust. And he was in 5 concentration camps and survived them. And he had written a book called Unbroken Chain. And he was also interviewed in Steven Spielberg's Shoah project, where they interviewed survivors of the Holocaust. And I had gone to audition, and I was the very first one to audition for the role. His granddaughter was there, real life granddaughter, and then of course casting people. And the script was so, I mean, it was just heartbreaking. You know, when I read it, I mean, I was just emotionally so connected to it, because you just can't believe that someone went through this. And then he immigrated to the United States, to Minnesota. He just died about a year ago. And that this person, like, was able to survive this and then live a life. You know, it was just amazing. So I felt good about my audition, and then I walked out, and the casting director said, Darrel, can you come back and don't be afraid. I said, I saw you feeling something, but just whatever you're going to feel. So that kind of gives you, you know, when that happens, it's great, because you know, okay, do anything, whatever in the moment. So I went and I did it, and I felt so connected to it, and I left and let it go. You don't know if you've got it, you don't have it. And several months later, I found out I had the part. And that was the nice thing, was that being able to like be in that world, understand something new, and to meet people who had actually been through that, you know, was such an amazing thing to me. And just to be a part of something like that. Yeah, that's why I love being an actor. I really do. It's as much as a crazy business it is, and sometimes you want to tear your hair out, you know. But I love it, and I think you have to love what you do. Anybody ever take the Myers-Briggs test? Okay. If you haven't, man, I tell you, I think that helped me, because when I was in the corporate job, I was going crazy, thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And I took it I took it 3 times, because I wanted to be sure, okay, is this really who I am? I think I'm an ENFP or an INFP, but I'm totally, and there's a book called Do What You Are, a companion book, that kind of talks about the character traits, and one of them was being an actor, a character actor. So I was like, oh, I have to do this. And one of the lines she wrote in there says, if you're in a corporate job and you're this personality type and you feel like you're going insane, then there's a reason. You don't belong in that. That's not your personality trait. I was like, oh, well, duh. So that really helped me to sort of go back into acting. I'm just going to check time, but ask your question.
Would you say that, like, maybe looking back on it, have you used any inspiration from working in that corporate job? Like, you remember somebody and you were able to use that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything. But you know, I tell you, The Office, that TV show, it's true about a lot of these places. You know, I mean, it's hilarious. Sometimes I think, the things that go on in these places, I'm like, how does America work? You know, because I'm sure any of your workplaces, right? There's so many characters and so much that goes on that you want to shake your head. You know, I mean, there was this, like we'd have these boardroom meetings, you know, and I was like, what am I doing in a boardroom? You know, and it was like so serious, but about, to me, like the lamest things, you know. So I would sit there, I would write poetry during the meeting, because I felt like I needed an outlet, you know. I would listen, but I had to do my poetry, you know, like my anger poetry, while I was there. So, yeah. And there were people there you thought, oh, they're going to come shoot this place up. You know, that type of personality. And there was like the type that was like the spy, the corporate spy that would report on everything that you had to, you know, I mean, it was just hilarious, some of these people, you know. So, it's always great when you can, I mean, look, my family members, you know, everybody's a character, you know, I'm a character. Everybody can be used for something, for anything you play, any role that you might think of. Oh, that's kind of like my Aunt Minnie, you know. You pull something from that. It's 12:15, so their next panel starts at 12:30. So unless anyone has any last question or comment, or you want to throw something at me or whatever. No, only throw money at me. So we are going to do the zizzoline. I'm going to fold them up. Yeah. Wait a minute, Kristen, you wrote Kristen, right?
Yes.
You wrote Kristen on every single paper. No.
Someone would see.
Right. Okay. Let's see if we can get these polka dots. Anybody have a hat? Erica! You're perfect because you're part of Durara. Come over here. I was at another con and this girl was dressed as Henri, the girl. If you don't know who Henri is, she's this girl in here. My character is this guy, if you don't know the show, Mikado. And these are the two crazy guys. But she looked I'm talking exactly like Henri. I mean, it was shocking. It was like she stepped out of the anime into real life. So actually, she and I improv the scene as Mikado and her. And like, he's always nervous around her, you know, because she's a girl. Okay. First person is Nathaniel Daniel. There you are, sir. Cool. Next person. I wish I had more cards to give away, but they only gave me a few.
I have had Bianca in my head since it was on, like 2 hours.
Cheater. Kristen. Thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you guys so much. Really, I appreciate you coming to the panel because I love meeting you. And you know, we're gonna have an autograph time at from 3:30 I think to 5. All of the guests will be there, so it's also a great time to come and talk. I also have some Durara stuff to sell. But of course, just come and say hi. I'll sign anything you guys want, or just talk, or whatever you want to say or do. The next person is who's coming in next. I forget the.
Kazuo Otaku?
Yes, she's coming at 12:30. So if you want to stay for her panel, she'll be great. Thank you guys. Really, I appreciate you coming. See you soon. Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure.
I was actually going to tell you something tomorrow, and I'm like,